Hello, art friends. It's Mrs. Treat here. We are going to be reading a story today before we do our project called The Day the Crayons Came Home. Then we'll get started on our activity where we are going to be making a crayon based on this story. So let's go ahead and get started. The Day the Crayons Came Home. One day, Duncan and his crayons were happily coloring together when a strange stack of postcards arrived for him in the mail. Dear Duncan, not sure if you remember me, my name is the Maroon Crayon. You only colored with me once to draw a scab, but whatever. Anyway, you lost me 2 years ago on the couch. Then your dad sat on me and broke me in half. I never would have survived had Paperclip not nursed me back to health. I'm finally better, so come get me. And can Paperclip come too? He's really holding me together. Sincerely, your Maroon Crayon. Dear Duncan, no one likes peas. No one even likes the color pea green. So I'm changing my name and running away to see the world. Sincerely, Esteban the Magnificent, the crayon formerly known as pea green. Hi, Duncan. It's me, Neon Red. Remember that great vacation we had with your family? Remember how we laughed and we drew pictures of your dad's sunburn? Remember dropping me by the hotel pool when you left? Clearly, you do not, because I'm still here. How could you miss me? Anyway, 8 months waiting for you to come get me. I guess I'm walking back. Your left behind friend, Neon Red Crayon. He looks pretty sad. Duncan, it's us, yellow and orange. We know we used to agree over which of us was the color of the sun, but guess what? Neither of us wants to be the color of the sun anymore. Not since we were left outside and the sun melted us together. You know the real color of the sun. Hot. That's what. We're sorry for arguing, but can you make green the sun for all we care? Just bring us home. Your not so sunny friends, yellow and orange. Here they are, all melted together. They're like a green sun. I like it. Hey, Duncan, I'm sure you don't recognize me after the horrors I've been through. I think I was a tan crayon, maybe burnt sienna. I don't know. I can't tell anymore. Have you ever been eaten by a dog, puked up on the living room rug? Because I have. I have been eaten by a dog and puked up on the rug, Duncan, and it's not pretty. Not pretty at all. I'm more carpet fuzz than crayon now. Can you please bring me back your undigestible friend, Tan, or possibly burnt sienna? Gross. Dear Duncan, could you please open the front door? I still need to see the world. Sincerely, Esteban the Magnificent. Hey, Duncan. Remember last Halloween when you told your little brother there was a ghost under the basement stairs? Then we drew the scary stuff on the wall. Sure was funny when he ran screaming, right? But it wasn't so funny when you forgot to take me out of the basement. Please come get me. I'm kind of terribly horrified. Your scared friend, glow in the dark crayon. Dear Duncan, looks like I'm almost home. Been through China, Canada, and France, I think. Just crossing New Jersey by camel now. New Jersey has a giant pyramids, right? See you soon, Neon Red Crayon. P.S. Next stop, the North Pole, I think. Pretty sure there's no pyramids in New Jersey. Duncan, does page 8 of Pirate Island ring a bell? Kind of a big payday for Captain Greenbeard there, don't you think? And no bronze or silver in that pile, huh? I told you I'd make me blunt if you colored with each coin individually, but would you listen? No. I also told you those stupid crayon sharpeners never work. Did you listen to that? Also, no. I know I can't color anything at all. Your pointless friend, Gold Crayon. Look at all the coins colored individually. Dear Duncan, I've seen the world. It's raining. Coming back. Esteban the Magnificent. Hi, Duncan. You're probably wondering why my head is stuck to your sock. A question I ask myself every day. Well, it's because last week you left me in your project and I ended up in the dryer. I landed on your sock and now it's stuck to my head. Can you please come get me? Also, why does everything you wear still smell even after it's washed? Your stinky sock, stucky on head buddy, Turquoise Crayon. P.S. Your sock says hi. Tell him I said hi. Dear Duncan, I know I'm not your crayon. I know I belong to your baby brother, but I can't take him anymore. In the last couple of weeks, he's bitten the top of my head, put me in the cat's nose, drawn on the wall, and tried to color garbage with me. The worst part is he is a terrible artist. I can't tell what he is drawing. Donkeys, monkeys, donkey monkeys? Picasso said every child is an artist, but I don't know. I don't think he met your brother. Please rescue me, your desperate friend, Big Chunky Toddler Crayon. I'm sure you have some brothers or sisters that'll do that. Duncan's greeting from the Amazon rainforest. Making great time. I think I'm almost there. Neon red crayon. Does that look like the Amazon rainforest? No. Hello, Duncan. It's me, Brown Crayon. You know exactly why I ran away, buddy. Everyone thinks I get all the great coloring jobs, candy bars, puppies, ponies. Lucky me, right? Bet they don't know what else you use me to color, do they? I don't think so. The rest of that drawing was great, but did it really need that final brown scribble? Ew. I'll come back, but please, let's stick to candy bars, okay? Your very, very embarrassed friend, Brown Crayon. Oh, the pootie. Oh, no. Duncan was so sad to learn all the crayons he'd lost, forgotten, broken, neglected over the years. So he ran around gathering them up. But Duncan's crayons were all so damaged and differently shaped than they used to be that they no longer fit in the crayon box. So Duncan had an idea. He built a place where each crayon would always feel at home. Let's read what they say. There's no dogs down here, are there? Nope, no turkey either. I'm in my blue stage. Look, that's us. And so on. And then in Cleveland, oh, she made it back. I got a hike to the Great Wall of China. Look at, they all made it home. The end. Hello, art friends. We just read the story, The Day the Crayons Came Home. And we have a wonderful project that we are going to be doing today. We are going to be creating our very own crayons. Now you can see I've got 2 different color crayons here, and if you would like, you can create 2 different ones as well, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Step 1, we need to get out our watercolor paints today. If it's they're washable, that's fine. Just regular watercolors are fine. If you happen to not have watercolors, you could use just a crayon of some sort, but ideally I'd say watercolors. You can get them at Dillon's, you can get them at Walmart. There's so many different places that you can get a hold of a watercolor set. All right, so I'm going to get started and I'm going to show you how to create these adorable little crayons. If you take a look at a crayon, you can see for the most part, we've got the color of the crayon at the top and at the bottom. Then we've got the paper in the center that maybe is a slightly different color. And then we've got our black lines. So we want to recreate something similar to what we see in a true crayon. But what we're going to do is decide what color we want our crayon to be. So we want to get out our watercolors, get a paintbrush and some water, and we are going to choose 2 colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. So what does that mean? I'm going to choose either red and orange and yellow, yellow, green, green and blue, or blue and purple. You have to be right next to each other on the color wheel or the rainbow. As you can see in my examples, a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow right next to each other. My other example, a little bit of green and a little bit of blue. They're right next to each other. So you need to decide what two colors you're going to use. Now on our paper, you can see that this is two, I could get two crayons out of this. So one side I painted with two colors and the other side I painted with two colors. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. I think my first set of colors, I'm going to do red and orange. So I'm going to get my brush, I'm going to pick up some water, and you want to add some puddles of water into your paint. Remember, in order for watercolors to actually come to life, you need to add water. So I'm just getting some droplets of water into each of my little containers here, and now I'm going to use my paintbrush and I'm going to stir the paint. And that little puddle of water is now going to become paint. Many of you know I like to refer to it like you're making Kool-Aid. If you don't stir Kool-Aid and you pour the Kool-Aid into a glass, it might look like grape Kool-Aid, but it tastes like water because you didn't stir in the flavor. Same thing goes with our watercolors. If you don't give it a good stir, you won't get that beautiful colored paint. So we want to stir it in, like so. All right, I'm going to start with my red, and I'm going to paint my top, because remember the top of I want my crayon to be red. So I'm going to do the top and the bottom, because that's the actual crayon itself, is the top and the bottom. You might want to put a masking mat or something underneath to protect your tables. Of course, I'm just working at school, so I'm not super worried about it. I can get it cleaned up here in no time afterwards with a wet sponge. I'm going to rinse, and I'm going to do a little bit of that second color in the center because that that paper in the center is slightly different colored. So it's almost going to be like a red-orange because I'm going to blend those two together. So that is, I know it looks like a mess right now, but of course we're going to eventually cut out some crayons. All right, I'm going to go ahead and choose two different colors to do for the other side. You can do the same. And I'm going to go ahead and mix my two colors and get started. All right, there you go. You can see that we are finished with our two color sets. I need to set this aside and let this dry, and we'll come back and show you how to complete your crayon.